This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, my friends. Oh, there we go. There's my video. Let's see if I can get my other camera to go. Okay, sweet. I was having technical difficulties for a minute there. Always happens right at the last minute. How are you guys? Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Boost Mindset Academy. You guys can chat with me here in the chat box. Let's kick this thing off. Let's have some fun. Most of you guys are here from my TikTok lives, I think, but let me know if you're from somewhere else right now, some other platform. Where did you hear about the Boost Mindset Academy? That's the first question I want to ask. And then, what are you doing here? What drew you here to this meetup and to this community? I'm going to run through a little presentation today where we're going to take a look at what we have to offer here in the Boost Mindset Academy, some exciting things coming up, and some expectations of you guys as community members, kind of the code of conduct, which very simply I'll just jump out with is making sure we're always being polite to each other, understanding that we're all at different places, right? And we're all fluctuating in our own journeys, right? There's always going to be ups and downs. So compassion is huge. Um, and authenticity is going to require some courage out of you. Okay, that's really what I want to ask of you guys is to show up for yourself in this community, you know? Think of this like an investment in your own expansion and a realm of like extraordinary possibilities for yourself. And this is the most near and dear thing to my heart. I was born on the 4th of July. You'll hear me say sometimes. So just to remind you and remind myself how important freedom is, independence, liberation, autonomy. That's kind of what we stand for here. So this is all about reclaiming your power. This is all about learning to wield the power of mind. Andrea says, I want to rewire. I have a lot that I want to overcome and grow. Beautiful, beautiful goals to chase after. Okay. We're going to teach you how to draw them to you. So it's less of a chase and more of a shift. A shift. Um, with regards to being on camera, I really appreciate you guys being on camera if you're willing to. If you're just not comfortable with that, that's okay. No problem. But I would encourage you to consider joining and showing up like we're in person. Best thing would be if we were in person, really, but we can get a lot done this way as well. We can do some cool things. Hi, you guys. Good to see you. I have you guys across the top. Okay. Any questions before we get started or anything you guys want to say? Anything coming up for you guys? So everyone here is from TikTok, yeah? Is that right? Yeah? Okay. Awesome. That's why I love TikTok. I love that the discourse just allows us to go where we need to go. It's good. Um, tell me one thing that stood out for you guys in the TikTok lives that sort of got you interested, if you could, while I'm queuing up the PowerPoint presentation. Just put it in the chat, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can share this. Oh yeah, check that out. Cool. Oh, look at
Adam, hey, it's Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, I don't see how to do the chat on my screen. So what am
Thanks
I
for the heads
missing
up.
here?
Let's look at that. Is everyone having that issue? Oh no, at least looks like some people have
I
been
see
chatting. So
Chelsea. Um, okay, I just clicked on her chat. Okay, I see it now. Um, okay, so I guess I just need to click on the chat and then it'll pop up.
Okay.
But then I can't see anybody. It's my whole screen. The chat is the whole screen.
So take your time, get comfortable, like poke around a
Okay.
little bit, click the buttons. It's okay. If you get kicked off for some weird reason, you can join again. But yeah, make yourself at home here in these Zoom rooms. You'll get the hang of it, no problem, pretty quick. Um, but it is a little bit of a learning curve. Cool, cool. Can you guys see the PowerPoint presentation? Thumbs up? Yeah, cool. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay. So welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So awesome. I'm just going to go through a couple slides just to keep me on track here. We're going to look at the community itself. So just follow along. And if there's any questions you have, we're going to do a Q&A at the very end. And well, actually, once we get into the actual mindset piece, when we're talking about subconscious reprogramming, when we're talking about any of the techniques to install in your life, you can always just ask questions in real time because I want to make sure that we don't glaze over things or we don't move on if you're not ready yet. Okay. So, what is BMA, the Boost Mindset Academy? This is a place that I've been envisioning for some time. First of all, I went to the United States Naval Academy, which is like a prestigious academy for leaders. They call it the Leadership Laboratory. It's a military academy, just like West Point. The irony is, I didn't find any good leaders there. Not none, but very few, because I had a problem with the way that they were disseminating leadership. It was very robotic. It was very much just follow orders. And so it didn't really give these budding leaders a chance to tap into their intuition. And to me, that's everything. For the military, maybe our soldiers don't need to be individuals, but for the rest of us, I think it's incredibly important in our lives to tap into that, to tap into our intuition. Do you guys agree with that? Is that something that's been important to you in your life? Making sure that the decisions you make are a product of your own conclusion and not somebody else's? Yay or nay on that? If not, then it's probably a provocative idea for you to think about. Okay, I have an absolutely awesome. The throat breathing exercise. Okay. Just being free from bondage. Okay. Past programs. A whole new way of thinking. Nice. Immediate impact. Okay. Wow. And you want to rewire. Good. I'm just going through these comments here. Okay. Beautiful. I happen to think that this element is numero uno. It has to do with claiming your sovereign power and answering the call. So what I've learned in mindset on the outset for you guys is that this flow of energy is closely related to us tapping in to the power that animates this being. Think about all the processes that are going on right now in your body that you're not in control of. It's brilliant. It's incredible. It's intelligent. Tapping into that, right? Instead of living our lives in just a humdrum or some automatic program that someone else, other people's ideas, basically. What I want to get across to you guys is that you have that source of creativity within you. And to put that into practice, put it to work in your life, is how you cultivate peak health, peak happiness, peak frequency, really. We're talking energy. So that's what the Academy is here for. It's to provide the ongoing reminder, the ongoing support and resources. Because it takes ongoing reminders and it takes putting this into practice in our life. But that's good news because that means we get to design our life exactly the way we want to. Sounds pretty exciting, huh? Okay. So we're going to look at navigating the school platform real quick. And then we're going to talk about the basics of mindset reprogramming and how that relates to sync, which is the method that I've synthesized. since I've been in this space, okay, which is about 7 years now, actively coaching high performance for about 5 years. And I have synthesized this method called SYNC, or self introspective neural conditioning, to cut to the chase, to cut out all the fluff and only give you what you need to make the actionable change you need in your life. Why? Because you can get lost in the self help industry. You probably have experienced that. I know I have. Spiritual development, it goes into all kinds of different stuff, neurobiology, ancient teachings. There's literally like so many different directions you can take this. And I took it most of those directions. And Sync is bringing it all back home, making it really simple. And by the way, it's short for synchronize as well, to make it that much more simple. Because that is the basis of what we do with mindset, is synchronize with an image of our better future, with an image of the persona that we're developing. So that is the work, to synchronize on a daily basis, which creates what? New programming, new conditioning, new emotions, new thoughts, new behaviors, all the stuff. Okay, then we're going to look at Mindset Mastery for Conscious Creators, which is a 6-week course that I'm going to be filming live with you guys on a weekly basis. So from tonight, on Wednesday night, we'll start the first class, Mindset Mastery for Conscious Creators. It'll go 6 weeks through September 18th. Okay, we'll talk about expectations with that. And then we'll talk about some steps you can take to get ready for that for next week. We'll have a little Q&A, and that's about it for today. Okay, so I just introduced myself, talked about the journey ahead, and a commitment to growth. I think we all get that by this point. Navigating the school platform. Let me share my screen with you guys. We'll poke around. So here we are. It says we're live right here. That's awesome. Oh, let me check the notifications, make sure no one's locked out. Chelsea made it in? Okay, awesome. Cool. Jennifer made it in too? Okay, great. So this is where you're going to get your notifications, which is what I just did. Looked at those. Okay. And I think you can adjust what you get notified for, which is a key. Make sure you guys decide consciously how many notifications you want, right? Whether it's TikTok or Facebook or text messaging or emailing. It's like we got to be very discerning about that these days. There's too many little dings going on, robbing us of our focused attention. That's going to be another major theme that we're going to, and skill we're going to build in this community. Focused attention. It's everything. Okay. Community. So this is our discussion forum. You'll hear from me here. I'll be posting content on a weekly basis as it comes up in my day-to-day work. You guys can post things you come across too that are inspiring to you or meaningful, or questions as well. Okay. Engagement. I'm going to jump ahead to engagement. I'm going to jump ahead to the leaderboard. This is fun. This is what I love about school. They've got this gamification. And these are kind of the levels that I've outlined that you can sort of transcend in this community the longer you stay and the more you engage. And it's based on engagement. So if you post something here in the community and people like it and people comment on it, you're going to get points. Okay, it's going to help you up the leaderboard. As well, if you comment on other people's things, if you contribute to other people's posts. So in other words, the more you contribute, the more points you get. Okay, and that's going to help you ascend the leaderboard from, a seeker, which is where we all start, all the way up to a visionary. Okay, and we'll talk about, not today, the characteristics of each of these levels so you can get an idea of where you're at. In fact, what I've developed is an assessment that I'm going to ask you guys to fill out before next week. It's going to be 5 minutes, a quick survey to kind of gauge where you're at with your mindset. Okay, it's going to help you very much. It's going to help me very much to know how to meet you where you're at and help you to the best ability that I can. I'm also going to be adding some other discussion forums here. They'll be listed here on specific topics. Like, let's say there's a good meditation series on YouTube. You know, we'll have like a specific forum where you click into there and it'll be maybe breathwork and meditation forum. For example, I haven't really thought that through. They come up as they come up. You know, it's like we'll try and keep this just a general discussion. And then for more specific type things, we'll have that option here. Moving ahead, in the classroom, this is where all the course material and the recordings will be stored. Okay, you can see here there's some things in the works. I'm working on these. These are just dummy place cards right now. There's a challenge coming that's going to happen on a monthly basis. It's going to be super powerful. A basic welcome course for new entrants, a main course for a little bit more advanced, an inner circle. These are things to come. For now, you're going to spend most of your time in the community and the calendar here where you'll see the schedule. Now, what's coming up on the schedule? I already mentioned we're going to have the Mindset Mastery class starting next week, Wednesday at this time. So you'll see those populated very shortly. And then what I'm also going to do during this 6-week period of time, you guys, and this is an extremely beneficial feature for you, is a sync session. A sync session is anywhere between 30 and 60 minutes, and it happens. We're going to do a group sync session on Sundays. Okay. We'll say 30 minutes to start, because until you're really experienced at this stuff, 30 minutes is going to be plenty of time. It's broken up into basically 3 segments. One is meditation, one is like self-introspective journaling, and one is neural conditioning. Okay, so in 30 minutes, I'm going to teach you how to change your frequency of vibration, how to condition your subconscious mind. Okay, and I'm going to encourage you guys to schedule a sync session every day on your own, but I'm going to do that with you guys in a community setting on Sundays. For about 30 minutes, we'll get resynchronized, recalibrated for the week, and hopefully, set you in forward motion, keeping that momentum going from week to week over the next 6 weeks. Okay, so look out for that. Look out for this calendar to be populated with Wednesdays and Sundays going forward through September 18th. Okay, that's a Wednesday, I believe. Yes, it is right here. Great. Okay, members shows who's here. Leaderboard, about. There's a intro video coming here too. So you guys are all first adopters. You guys are all early access, and you're going to witness the construction and the growth of this if you stick around. If it's something that is valuable to you, I would really appreciate your feedback one way or the other, because I'm here for you guys. Okay? My mission is to spread the message of self-empowerment, to illuminate humanity's golden shadow, and to eliminate worthiness issues, the epidemic of unworthiness. Are you guys wondering what the golden shadow is? Does anybody know? Wondering. Wondering. Okay. I'll tell you. You guys have all heard of the shadow, yeah? Have you? Shadow work? Give me a 1 in the chat if yes, you've heard of shadow work, and a 2 if you have not heard of shadow work. Okay. Okay. 2 of you are saying yes. Good. So the shadow is the part of our psyche that we repress and we try and hide, and we don't want to show to the world. And that could be likened to your inner child, your wounded inner child, right? She is scared. She or he is scared and doesn't want to come out, doesn't want to risk being vulnerable, right? So that's like the shadow. The shadow are the parts of our psyche that we're ashamed of in a lot of cases. We don't want to show. Now, that part of our psyche will control us. it'll dictate the outcomes in our life if we don't get a handle on it and learn how to integrate and process the unprocessed emotions associated with that inner child. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the self-introspective work, and the neural conditioning is very much likened to shadow work. Except we're not going to spend a whole lot of time digging. I have a very particular and specific method for drawing out what we need to, and no more. Okay. We're not going to spend excess time digging, but I will have some introspective prompts for you guys and some questions that are going to pave the way. Okay. Now, the golden shadow are the parts of our psyche that we are repressing that represent our gifts and our greatness. Because it's funny, the more I do this, the more I see that, yeah, a lot of people are afraid of failure, but more people are afraid of success. That may or may not be true for you. So a lot of people are also really excited about just, skyrocketing past their blocks and limitations and living the best life they possibly can. A lot of us, though, we've been trained into a pattern of seeing ourselves in a low light and seeing ourselves in a one down position. That's the work of the ego, by the way. The ego is not all big chested and grandiose and, macho or anything like that. That is ego, but that's not the more prevalent one is putting ourselves down. It's seeing ourselves as not worthy, not good enough, not capable, not smart enough, right? And in doing that, in living that way, we totally mute the greatness that we have. We totally dampen it. So the golden shadow are the parts of our psyche that we're repressing that represent our gifts. Here's a quick way to know what's in your golden shadow. What are you envious of? Who are you jealous of? And what is it about them that you're jealous about? That very well might represent some gift that you have that's waiting to be revealed and expressed. Okay, not all cases, but in many. We're just starting here, you guys. Okay, we're gonna have some fun with this. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this. It is fun, by the way. I can have a serious demeanor a lot of the times, but you guys, it's joyful, it's silly at times. A lot of times we're just taking ourselves way too seriously as well. So, moving on. Did you guys all get comfortable in the school platform? Were there any questions in navigating that? No? Okay. Rocking and rolling. Awesome. How are you guys doing? I want to check in with you before I move on really quick. You hanging with me? Or you want me to slow down? You want me to address anything? Any elephants in the room? No? Okay. Cool. So, basics of mindset reprogramming. I've mentioned a few things about sync, short for synchronize. You've heard me talk about rewiring the subconscious. We're using the sync method to do that, by the way. We're using the sync method to rewire the subconscious through self-introspective work, which is turning our attention inward, asking important questions about who we are and what we want and what's in our way. And neural conditioning is a modern understanding that we can rewire the neural pathways in the brain and body. This is known today. It's spreading like wildfire, really. Dr. Joe Dispenza is selling out retreats all over the world. It's incredible. I went to one of them, and I see a lot of people know this stuff. They know about it. Knowing about this is irrelevant. It's useless. It's mental masturbation. Pardon my language. Sorry for the crudeness. It's intellectual stimulus that's not going to do anything to rewire the subconscious mind. Please understand me here. Studying the mind is important. Applying what we learn is priceless, and it's non-negotiable if you really want to make the change. So that's where the sync method comes in. That's what I mean by distilling everything down into well, what's actionable here? What really matters to me? Does it matter that I know all the terminology about subconscious reprogramming? No, it doesn't matter at all. In fact, it could get in my way because I don't want the intellect running the show anymore. I want to tap into my heart, my intuition, my inner knowing. I want to start fueling my life with desire that's closest to spirit, true heart's desire, and learn how to turn that raw power into, well, first goals, and then goal achieving tactics and actions and habits, and then physical reality, like clockwork, if we learn this and we practice it. What did I miss? All right, amazing opportunity. Chelsea, you can hear me now? Good. Okay. Thank you. And enhancing the mind-body connection, like I said, we're tapping in, we're going deep, we're revealing deeper truths about ourselves. We're stripping away false, illusory concepts of self that we've picked up that's now embedded in the subconscious mind, causing us to operate on that low frequency, remember, and mute our greatness. Okay. Moving on. Key components. We've talked about self-introspective work, which is the ancient art of turning your attention inward. Radical empathy, I haven't talked enough about yet. Cultivating inner trust and meeting yourself right where you're at. Okay. Radical empathy is going to be one of your most powerful tools, important tools. I'm sure you guys have ran into this before. If you're on the expansion journey, sometimes you can set expectations that are unrealistic of yourself for where you're at. And they're probably based on someone else's ideas, right? Still, it's like you're trying to be present, you're trying to be the true you, you're trying to improve your life. And then you get a little frustrated and upset that you're not making the progress you want as fast as you want. It's a classic story. So meet that with radical empathy, time and time again, right where you're at. Okay, I forgive myself. I surrender to where I am right now. I recognize this is perfect. And there's something in that. There's something in the surrender and recognizing that it couldn't be any other way, and it is exactly as it should be right now, that actually catalyzes you into a growth movement. Isn't that interesting? By being you fully here now and not resisting that, you get the energy to move out of this state. It's interesting the way that works. The more we resist where we're at right now, the slower the forward progress becomes. Isn't that weird? Right? But you'll get used to that because it's one of the most important things on this journey. Raising your frequency vibration, understanding your energetic beings. We're made out of energy. We know this now with science that when we peer deeply into matter, namely, our body, our skin, we look at it, we look at these things, and it's empty. It's empty space. We are made out of energy. We really are. And by thinking more in terms of energy, thinking about energy and the natural laws that all apply to energy, you start to, again, bring coherence to the mind being the flow of energy. On a cellular level, you're now polarized in the way that you're thinking deliberately. Do you see the importance of focused attention? When our attention is scattered, we don't have coherence, we have chaos. That's what anxiety is. It's dissonance, it's energetic dissonance. So we're going to practice raising our frequency of vibration. We're doing that now with one very important ritual called study. We're studying the mind. Okay, we're studying the mind. And we're bringing in higher level ideas. Those are on a higher frequency. Those are seeds that are going to be planted in the subconscious mind. Right? Enhances emotional states, promoting positivity and resilience through the transformative journey. Okay, by consistently raising our frequency of vibration. And that is the neural conditioning. That's how you condition the new neural pathways. I hope this is all coming together for you guys. All right, moving on. Unless there's any questions, if you guys have any other questions that come up regarding the basics of mindset reprogramming, I just covered the basics, you guys. The whole 6 weeks upcoming is going to be really putting sync to work in your life. Okay. So it's going to be very powerful, very practical, actionable in your life. And this is what we're going to do. Learn how to bring order to the mind, right? It's not enough just to say, hey, what do I want? Or what do you want? And you say, I want freedom. Okay. What's really happening is, well, what does freedom mean to you? Okay. That's a frequency of vibration. Are you on that frequency? Or are you at odds with the frequency of freedom? Do you feel unfree? Do you feel shackled? And the answer to that is yes. In some areas, hopefully not all areas, we feel trapped. We feel shackled. We feel less than fully actualized. And so we go to work on that, and it's fun. We're going to remove resistance and blocks along the way. So as you do this work and you start to target a new, better future, you better believe that some resistance is going to come up. Some triggers and some blocks are going to show themselves. That's okay. That's okay. That's par for the course. Okay. I ask you to show up. Show up for yourself. Speak your truth authentically. Dare to be vulnerable. Dare to say and do something different than you've done before. And decide, I'm here for an adventure. I'm done with complacency. Enough is enough. Something's calling me. And show up for yourself. Okay. Week classes start next week. They go through September 8th. Any questions? I'd love it if you guys show up live to these classes. Yes, they will be recorded, and they're going to be compiled in the classroom section in the community. That's going to be a course that I sell in the future. So you guys are part of this beta right now, and you get access to it at an incredibly low price because this is high-level mindset coaching. Okay, it's meant to cause a real shift in your life and have everything improve. And it does. And I've got countless testimonials and case studies, okay, from the years that I've been doing this. Incredible things. I've seen incredible breakthroughs. One of my clients is a breathwork coach. She's a mother of two. She's a single mother, and she's finally breaking through. She's putting herself out there online. She's starting to get clients. She has an offer. Another one of my clients was a fashion model who turned airline stewardess because the fashion model life was playing into the self-image, the low self-image that she had inherited. And she was getting pushed around and treated horribly by people. So she changed professions, but was totally exhausted and overworked by the airline industry. Decided she in the engagement with me, decided she wanted to be a mindset coach, and she went for it. And she finally just got her first. Not finally, she's actually been on a pretty quick clip. By her first paying client. She's from Romania, and she's an incredible inspiration. And I hope she can come on and speak her story here soon to you guys. We'll be doing cool things like that as well. Another one of my clients is a guy who has an empire, all the wealth in the world, but was miserable inside and had a trail of really challenging relationship circumstances. And he needed to learn how to tap back into joy in his life. And he did. Brought his resting heart rate, basically cut it in half from like 120 down to around 65. So we're talking about physiological benefits, mental, emotional, the whole gamut. Okay. I missed some comments. Give me a second here. Let me catch up. Awesome. Do you move up by interaction? Absolutely. Absolutely. You expand through osmosis, being around people who are doing the work, who are showing up. And that's huge. That's kind of a cliche in the personal development industry is you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? The bottom line is your environment has a huge impact over you. The people you hang out with, the places, the ideas that they, frequent, those will definitely have an impact on you. So being part of a community of high vibe thinkers who are committed to vibrational mastery is the best thing you can do for yourself. Okay. I cut several negative people out of my life because I felt shackled to them. Good. And I know that can be difficult, Andrea. It can be really difficult, especially if they're family, close family. It's maybe most difficult with your parents, and it has to be done in a lot of cases. It has to be done. But liberation is on the other side. So, go forward with gusto toward creating the space you need. If that means no contact with people that have been in your life for some time, if that means undergoing ridicule and criticism and judgment from them, so be it. You're going to find freedom on the other side of that. You're going to realize that it's not really about what they think. It never has been. You've been making it about what they think, but it's really about what you think. Okay. There's a quote by Calvin Coolidge. Stay with me on this. I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. Just feel into that for a second. I am who I think you think I am. So, in other words, what we do with this cognitive process that we all have is we're projecting what we think everyone is thinking of us. And not only that, but we're subconsciously trying to fit into that. It's exhausting. It's a complete waste of our creative energy. And now I want you to think of it as an opportunity, because now that we're talking about it, you're going to notice more when you get triggered by how other people are acting or speaking or what you think they're thinking. And every time you get triggered, I hope you get a little smile inside, because you know that source energy pinging you, saying, here's where you can level up. Here's where you're not as free as you want to be. You're overreacting to something that's external to you, that's not even real. You're creating it. Okay. So that's this rabbit hole does go deep when we talk about creating our own reality. It is true that we create our own reality. By the way, take that mantra with you. This is a foundational seed that I had to keep with me in the very beginning, over and over and over. I am the creator of my own reality. I create my own reality. I create my own reality. If you tell yourself that 100 times a day, you're going to put yourself on the fast track. Okay? I create my own reality. If there's arguments coming up saying, no, what about this person who did this? What about the economy? What about this? Perfect. Write those things down. Write those apparent truths down and watch one by one as they dissolve as we move forward over the next 6 weeks. Okay. And I already said, meet yourself right where you are, but it bears repeating. Understand this is not a competition. In fact, we're moving off of the we're moving off of the competitive plane of existence and onto the creative plane of existence. Competing with other people, that's suicide. It's not worth it. It's never going to fulfill us. Get into the creative mode. When you realize you're creating your own reality and that there are blocks and there are challenges and there's resistance that you're putting in your way so that you can grow through those things, you can transcend each and every one of them. You're going to realize it's not really them you're competing with, it's yourself. And you can let go of that competition too. You can surrender completely to this bewilderingly miracle, this bewildering miracle that we live called this present moment, that defies all explanation. Presence is unexplainable. No scientist will ever be able to explain presence. You just can't do it. Scientists need time, space, measurement, distance, speed, acceleration. They need to measure stuff. There's nothing to measure in the present moment. It's eternally now. So it is the miracle that we all exist in. And the more and more you can commune with that, with presence, whatever you want to call it, the more it's going to imbue you with a feeling of knowingness of the truth that you create your own reality. So get on the creative plane. Get off the competitive plane. Meet yourself right where you are. Exercise radical empathy. Right? Radical empathy for any time that you fall into competition. You get jealous. You get envious. You forget what you're supposed to be focused on or that you chose to be focused on. You treat someone else poorly because you're unconscious that day and you're crabby, right? You got to get really good at surrendering and letting things go, one after the other, because you're going to notice there's just patterns of resistance. There's patterns that pull me back into an old identity, okay, over and over. And we'll talk a lot more about identity coming up. So some actionable steps, just 3 quick ones here. First of all, you're going to take the mindset audit. I talked to you guys about that. I'll send that to you. That's the assessment. It's going to give you a score and kind of let you know where you're at. Let me know where you're at too. Journaling practices. Get a good journal. Get a good pen. I love my pens. I use the Pilot G2. These are awesome. They're really juicy. They just like flow really well. By the way, I'm big on my pens. I love pens and journaling. I've always got, what's coming up for me and what projects I'm working on. And so I'm always trying to organize those and focus and focus and focus. But what I want to encourage you guys to do is get a journal and get a really good pen and get used to journaling. Start practicing doing some stream of consciousness journaling or a brain dump. We're going to use this as a tool. Okay, it's going to be a really powerful tool for inducing flow and identifying some of the patterns coming up. Let me see if I missed something here. Oh, you got the sharp ones. Awesome. Literally writing with a Pilot G2. Love it. Love it. Love it. These are great, aren't they? And lastly, a goal setting exercise. We're going to get way more into goal setting over the next 6 weeks, but I want you to start thinking about your one thing. Focused attention. Focused attention. What is your one thing that over the next 6 weeks you want to focus on? If you want to think of it this way, there's one thing you want to let go of, and there's one thing you want to introduce. Okay, that's how habits work. It's really hard to drop a bad habit without replacing it with a better one. The reason why is because we've got a chronic frequency of vibration. So if I were to stop doing something, some coping mechanism, I would then feel a hole inside of me. I feel like this vacuum that's wanting to suck something in. And so what you want to do is put something in its place before it has a chance to suck in a new negative habit, right? If it's complaining and you're trying to stop complaining, you're going to find a lot of things to complain about in very subtle ways. So what's your one thing, your blue flame, that if you got it, if you got this goal by the end of 6 weeks, you'd feel on top of the world. Order would be restored in the universe. You'd have this calm, peaceful confidence in knowing that you create and that you can continue to create. You guys feel that frequency? Watch out for self-sabotage in the form of, oh, it needs to be this big, grandiose, production that has to happen in 6 weeks. And all of a sudden, I'm in survival mode, triggering my nervous system because it's some scary thing. No, 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 no. Remember, this is the creative plane. This is like, no, I get to do this. I deserve it. I'm primed and ready for it. And you want to set a goal that's just out of reach. It's not so big that it's totally unrealistic. It's not something you've ever done before, though. It's something you'd love to do that, you may have been working at for some time, but you're just not as focused on that as you could be. Okay. And if you were to concentrate your focus on that and remove resistance, then it would be a truth for you. It would come true. Your one thing, make it simple, make it singular, make it measurable. Right? So peace is not a good one because you can't measure that. Make it measurable. Okay, make it a measurable thing. If it's health, be more specific. Is it inches? Is it pounds? Is it um, a number in terms of your blood, something, some statistic? If it's your business, is it a goal? Is it a revenue goal? Is it a client goal? Is it a outreach goal? What would represent sort of a quantum leap for you, like a jump up? Okay. Start to think about your one thing. So that's your homework, you guys. I'll send you the link for the mindset audit as soon as I get it finished. Okay, sometime before the end of the week. And you're going to get a journal and a cool pen, and you're going to practice stream of consciousness. I just write SOC at the top when I do this, stream of consciousness, and I do it for about 10 minutes. And you're going to start thinking about your one thing between now and next week. Okay, don't put too much pressure on yourself. This should totally come from your true heart's desire, right? So give yourself some space and time to let this come, to let it come. Couple last minute things here. Engagement. We have gamification in the community to encourage you guys to engage. But more than that, engagement is going to be a major factor, major deciding factor on how far you go, how far you take this. How engaged are you? Okay, speak up, speak your mind, speak your heart, support one another, provide value when and where you can. Okay, and stretch outside of your comfort zone. All right, you get what you put in, you'll get out what you put in. Don't look back. Embrace this journey. You have no idea where this is going to take you right now. It's going to be a radical ride, I assure you. And embrace it. Don't look back. Make a decision that it's forward motion from here on. Right? No more standing still. No more one step forward, two steps back, or no more just moving backwards. Right? Don't look back. Well, thank you guys very much for being here. The floor is yours. If there's any questions you have at all, any comments, anything. Chelsea's ready. I feel that. I see you guys showing up too on the lives. And now you guys have made the important move of investing in yourself. So you're taking it another step. You're taking a step further. That's good. Because so many people, I want you to realize, just frequent all the free stuff, the freeple people. Okay. You may be one of those, but you got to know here and now, that's not going to get you by. It's not going to get those people by. Again, they're stimulating the intellect over and over and over, and it feels really good to, have a coach validate you and say something that hits here. Feels really good. That is a good thing. But what are you going to do with that? What kind of implementation, what kind of execution? It's got to become actionable. Energy is flowing through us in terms of action. And I'm not saying you need to be a workaholic and you need to be a machine. What I am saying, though, is when you tap into this, you're going to want to get up in the morning and get right on your purpose. You're going to be more clear, more creative, more energized, more stamina, all that. Okay. Are you guys excited? Chelsea's excited. Andrea's very ready and excited. Awesome. Jennifer, so good for you. Good, good. I have one more ask for you guys. Andrea says, sounds incredible. Awesome. Jennifer, yes, good. I'm so glad you guys are here. You guys are the founding members. I've done communities in the past, but it's all culminating right now in, I think, the best offering I've ever had. And I have an ask. I want to, before next week, have 20 founding members. And right now we've got, I think, 12. So if you guys have anyone who would be a good fit for this, man or woman or anything else, I don't discriminate. We've all got masculine and feminine energies. Here I am going on a tangent for no reason. Let's keep this fun. Nice. You can feel the vibration. Awesome. Good. Notice that. Notice that you're going to get a frequency bump here. Okay. And we're planting seeds. And we're going to do some meditation, and that's going to feel really good this Sunday, okay? Typically, I do 10 a.m. Pacific time, so watch out for. I'll make an announcement when the schedule's updated. But on Sundays, we're going to have our sync session. So you're going to get exactly the formula on how to set up your own sync session that I'm going to want you guys to schedule on your calendar. And that's going to really amplify the process for you as well. But yeah, my ask is to help fill this with 20 founding members before Wednesday. Whatever you can do, and put the vibe out, okay, that we've got something super cool brewing here. We're going to have a lot of fun over the next 6 weeks. That's about all I have for you guys. If anything else comes up for you, the community is the place to speak up. Okay. Once you ascend, by the way, to level 2, I believe it is. Level 1, I don't think you're going to be able to chat. But if you go up to level 2, which is very easy to do, a few pieces of engagement, right? Whether you're sharing value or commenting on someone else's post, will get you up to level 2, and then you can chat with everyone one-on-one within the community. I forgot to talk about that. Okay, that's one more little nuance there. I'm sure there will be others that'll come up, but we'll let this evolve naturally. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being here. I commend you for doing the work, and I'm really excited to serve you and to grow alongside you guys over the next 6 weeks and hopefully beyond. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening.